Well, number 5 for Hoover, Chloe Ford. She's a heartwarming story, missed the entire year last year, and she came back for her senior year, and she wanted to finish it with a championship, and she's well on her way. But Alma Bryant battled early. You got to appreciate that they weren't intimidated to start. There you see Hoover with the steal and the run out. But Alma Bryant, again, they battled. It was only 17-14 at the end of the first quarter. It kind of went back and forth. There you see Hoover hitting the 3 from the corner. But the size of Hoover, there was a big size. For 21, she's a freshman. And there you see the senior Chloe Ford. That's how you build a dynasty. Every class you have players that contribute to championship runs. There they go on the fast break. The layup. Just too much defensive pressure, too much size, too much Hoover. There's Crystal Johnson. She's going to play for another state championship on Saturday afternoon. And just a reminder, when we get to Saturday, well, actually, when we get to this afternoon, all of the championship games will be available on Alabama Public Television. All right, let's talk to Dr. Milner about Coastal Alabama Community College. Obviously, the high schools in your area are very important. The next game, the next 7A boys game, is going to feature Hoover and Fairhope.
Right.
That's where you draw a large percentage of your students from, isn't it?
We do. Baldwin County, one of the fastest growing counties in the state of Alabama. We really pull in a lot of students from their school system, and then Gulf Shore City Schools, Orange Beach. But Fairhope, their athletic program, so many great athletic programs in Southwest Alabama. So proud of the Alma Bryant Hurricanes. Their student section to me was just awesome because they were down, knew the game was over, but you could tell there's a family atmosphere because the student section was still pulling for those athletes whenever they would make a score. So it was a great atmosphere.
That's a great observation. They were in it right to the end, supporting their girls. And I know another high school in that area that's close to you because you used to work there, and that's Saraland. Tell us about your Saraland experience.
Right. I was a superintendent of Saraland City Schools for 11 years, and obviously we had a great run in all what I call the big three, of course, academics being first, and then liberal arts and the athletics, and all of those evolved during that period of time just due to a great team. Greatness is in the agency of others, and we had a outstanding team at Saraland City Schools, and you can see that with the amount of competitive student athletes, students in the liberal arts, and academically what they've done in Saraland. It makes me very proud.
Rising waters raise all boats, right?
No doubt.
Whether it's academic or athletics. Now, Coastal has grown tremendously in recent years. How big is, I say the system because it's not just one campus.
Right. We're the most unique community college of Alabama's 24 community colleges in that we have the largest landmass footprint in the state of Alabama. We have 8 campuses and 2 separate what we call sites, one being at Brookley Field, where we teach airframe power plant, breaking down jet engines, putting them back together, and then Foley. But then we have 8 campuses that range from Thomasville, just a little over an hour south of Tuscaloosa, and then we go all the way to our campus at Gulf Shores. So 6 counties we serve, and it's really a tremendous blessing for me to go into those different communities and try to identify the needs of those communities. We work with the mayor, city councils, county commissions, and give our very best to those communities. The faculty does at those individual campuses, the administration throughout. And we just try to be a good partner to make Alabama a better state.
Well, you do a great job of that. How many students do you serve overall?
If you take everything put together, around 10,000.
Wow.
And it's such a blessing to be a community college president in that most of my career, 29 years, I was mainly dealing with 18-year-olds that would graduate. When we do our graduation in May, I'll have a 50-year-old come across the stage that'll give me a hug and say, I just received my certification or degree as we're getting our picture taken with their diploma. Oftentimes they'll have tears in their eyes, and they came back and they just wanted a little change in their life or a tweak, and now they're going to go to something else. Our chancellor talks about just simply trying to make life better for Alabamians. And we feel like we do that at our 24 community colleges on a daily basis.
Well, Dr. Aaron Milner, we appreciate what you do for students all across the state of Alabama, you and the Alabama Community College system. Thank you for being with us. We've got to run to a break. Coming up next, Hoover and Fairhope.
The world moves fast these days. Too fast, if you ask me. But out here in the woods, life slows down. It reminds us what's real, what's worth holding on to. It's a place where time seems to linger. The air feels lighter, and every moment is rooted in memories. A place for your children, your grandchildren, and every generation that follows to slow down, reconnect, and remember what matters most.
Shop our President's Day trade-in event at AHSAA Honda in Sylacauga. All month long, we're offering you top dollar for your trade. Trade into a new Honda Civic Hybrid with financing as low as 3.99% for 48 months or payments as low as $229 a month. Or take home a new Honda Accord with payments as low as $219 a month for 36 months. Don't miss our President's Day trade-in event happening all month long at AHSAA Honda in Sylacauga.
There's a lot in life to smile about. Are loose dentures or missing teeth keeping you from enjoying the things you love? Don't miss out on enjoying life's precious moments. You can be you again with affordable mini dental implants. You can smile again, laugh out loud, and have your self-confidence back. Let us help you make it memorable.
I'm Dr. Rick Redmond. Call me today for a free consultation and give me the opportunity to change your life.
From Mobile to Florence, from Auburn to Tuscaloosa, for all your commercial or private paving needs, is Alabama's premier surfacing company. 20 years experience has the equipment and personnel to handle any job anywhere in the state of Alabama. Call 205-648-3117.
At Jacksonville State University, the journey starts with you. It begins with your ambition, your curiosity, your dreams. Here, you forge your own path. You have the power to make a difference, explore new horizons, and turn your passions into your future. At Jack State, we journey forward together. The journey starts with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we welcome you to Legacy Arena at the BJCC for the 2026 AHSAA State Finals. We're moments away from tip-off, but first, let's meet the lineups and rosters for today's game. First up, let's meet the Buccaneers of Hoover High School. Number 2, Kobe Bulware. Number 10, Michael Gates. Number 11, Austin Mason. Number 14, Erickson Washington. Number 15, Mello June. Number 23, Tate Mitchell. Number 32, KJ Steele. Number 55, Davis Wood. And now let's meet the starting five for the Buccaneers. At guard, a 6-foot senior, number 1, Riley Kent. At guard, a 6-foot senior, number 3, Messiah Millen. At guard, a 6'2", senior, number 4, Kane Burns. At guard, a 6'1", senior, number 5, Michael Glass. And at forward, a 6'10", senior, number 35, Jackson Sheffield. The assistant coaches for the Hoover Bucks are Trent Hosmer, Keon Williams, Corey Hancock, Josh Landers, Antonio Holman. The head coach of the Hoover Bucks is Scott Ware. All right, Fairhope fans, make some noise for your Fairhope Pirates. Number 2, Gus Faulkner. Number 3, Andres Hunt. Number 5, Brody Nelson. Number 10, Cohen Robertson. Number 20, Hayes Townshend. Number 22, Chris Davis. Number 23, Braden Bradley. Number 24, Braden Goodbody. Number 25, Andy J. Number 34, Ashton Knoll. And now, Pirate fans, make some noise for your Fairhope starting 5. At guard, a 5'11 senior, number 0, Reese Olmsted. At forward, a 6'4 junior, number 4, Trey Garner. At forward, a 6-foot sophomore, number 11, Knox Lawson. At guard, a 6-foot senior, number 12, Mark Howard Jr. And at guard, a 6-foot senior, number 14, Alex Marcris. The assistant coaches for the Pirates are Brett Horn, Jonathan Ivey, Curtis Brody, Butch Case, Rushing Watson, J.D. Gardner, and the head coach of the Fairhope Pirates is Ralph Watson.
There are your AHSAA Automotive starting lineups. The second half of the boys semifinal. We already have the girls 7A final set up. We've seen 2 semifinals. Now, if you're Scott Ware, the pressure's on because you just saw the Hoover Buck girls hold serve. They're going to be competing for another title. No surprise there. But Scott Ware, some people surprised to see the Bucks in this spot after what they lost last season.
Lost a lot last season in the backcourt and on the interior, but Sheffield is back. We've seen him develop over the last few years. Scott Ware did an exquisite job with this team at the regional, getting in the bonus, winning the game from the free throw line. And when you look at the hints brought to you by TJ's Property Improvements, LLC, call the Gentle Giant, you in Alabama, 205-412-7973. Hoover, lock down the half court. So you don't let, they're really good on that end of the floor defensively. Play your pedigree, like the girls. The Hoover team's lost 10 games, though. They have played a tough schedule, so expect a good start defensively for Scott Ware's team. And Fairhope, you got to believe. You got to make shots. But you got to guard collectively. Great angles, great help defense, finish possessions, get rebounds. Fairhope in transition needs to push the basketball and find open threes before Hoover's defense gets set up.
Jackson Sheffield and the Hoover Bucks control the tip. Bucks wearing the black jerseys with the orange numerals. Meanwhile, Fairhope in the white jerseys. Blue numerals trimmed in gold. 24-10 Hoover, led by Scott Ware. 3 state championships to his credit. Hoover, for serving as head coach at then Walker High School. We're coming over. On the other side, it's Ralph Watson.
Walker County boy.
Ralph Watson served as a head coach from 94. There's Scott Ware of Hoover.
Look how high that is.
94 to 2006, left, went to Bayside Academy, and then came back last season.
What difference to me with Dwayne Brown and Sheffield? You see Coach Watson from Fairhope calling in defensive plan. Dwayne Brown had great hands. Sheffield sometimes has a hard time. He plays a little high and fumbles the ball a little bit, securing the catch. So we'll see if Fairhope can get in there and force some turnovers and get out and run.
Zion Millen for Hoover pulled the trigger on the 3, came up empty. You see Fairhope, the offensive end. That's Reese Olmsted, 5'11 senior guard, handling the basketball. Got the sweatband. A lot of the Pirates. With a sweatband look. Ball knocked out of bounds. Trying to drive the baseline, Mark Howard Jr.
Ball pressure prowess of Scott Ware and Hoover. Showing early. First possession.
Here's a look at Kane Burns. 6'2" senior guard. Olmsted. Missed everything. Coming up short. Pushing it ahead, strip from behind. Nice defensive play. Knox Lawson, the sophomore. He's been an impact player.
Len, we started seeing, as we have, nifty hold back.
It was quick.
Very quick, very subtle. Moved by Garner and wide. That's big, just like the Hoover game. Get Sheffield out of the game. Second foul. Let's see what happens.
Already some fun back and forth between Jackson Sheffield and Trey Garner.
Yeah, if you're Fairhope, I think you got to muck this game up. That's great defense. See the dig down. Excellent play by Marcus on the good hands. Oh, yeah, beat him down the floor. Could be a second foul. Good block.
Something hit the floor. Somebody lost something. Couldn't tell what it was, but it's still sitting there in the paint. Scott Ware might have wanted a whistle. So he's got the basketball. It's glass to inbound. He gets it from Burns. Jackson Sheffield, Vanderbilt. A lot of ball. No foul called. Boy.
Ken Barnett and Seth Satterfield right there. Coach Scott Ware and his staff upset, but two good officials.
If we get 37 more minutes of what we've gotten so far with the two big guys down in the paint, that's going to be a lot of fun. Olmsted can't get the weak side rebound. Wasn't expecting it.
Wasn't expecting it, and unforced error. Defense on the dig here by Marcus. Never quitting. Hand on ball, left hand on right hand. Shot blockers out there. Easier to block shots if you can block with both hands. Look at this link. And he's getting hit.
Yeah, he got hit there
3 times. Just so big. You know, we see bigs in high school, man. It takes so much contact. It doesn't. You're so big, it doesn't look like it's a foul. Sheffield playing through it right now. Nice possession.
Jackson Sheffield has 2 shots.
So now Jackson Sheffield. Oh, 6'10". The Hoover big man.
Great goggles. Yeah. Here's the thing about Sheffield. He's grown so much at a young age. He's still a little awkward with his footwork.
Go baby giraffe here?
Baby giraffe. More so probably than baby deer, actually. The size is elite. But as he progresses, play his ball, Mark Byington in Nashville, he's going to be an excellent SEC player. How about the battles we're going to see in a couple of years between Sheffield and Dwayne Brown?
Mello June comes in to spell Sheffield. He was visibly frustrated, and Scott Ware, his head coach, trying to settle him down. As I can imagine, Jackson Sheffield probably has his way most games.
He does, and Garner there with a turnover. Hoover's padded to defense. I like what Fairhope's doing, though, in this run and jump pressure.
3 ball.
Fantastic. Nice shot.
Riley Kent with the Reams Custom Homes 3.
Oh, yeah. Good athleticism. Nope.
Knocked away nicely by Messiah Millen of Hoover. Bucks want to run and throwing it away. Last touch, they say, by the Bucks. So Fairhope will get him back. Trailing 4-3. Here are the first 3 minutes of this boys' 7A semifinal.
Michael Gates checks into the game for the Bucks. He replaces number 4, Kane Burns.
Full court pressure. If Fairhope can handle it, Leonard. I'm talking to a lot of people. I feel like this Fairhope team, we've seen the North the last few games really dominate the South in the semis. And can Fairhope be that team? Not only dethrones the Bucks, but represents the South.
Reese Olmstead adds the bucket at the other end, back to a 1-point Fairhope advantage. Another three from Riley Kent. Reams Custom Homes 3. Hoover up by 2.
You see Glass loves to play defense on the other team's guards and always able to stay in front of his defender. Hand up.
Trey Garner, he can do it on the inside. He shows you the stroke from the outside.
Very similar body type and hair, other than the black and tan colors we saw from the chef for Providence Christian. Similar players, but a little more physical as Garner.
Riley Kent, welcome threes for Scott Ware and the Hoover Bucks. But Fairhope hanging in there early.
Hey, grab me one too.
At Jacksonville State University, the journey starts with you. It begins with your ambition, your curiosity, your dreams. Here, you forge your own path. You have the power to make a difference, explore new horizons, and turn your passions into your future. At Jack State, we journey forward together. The journey starts with you.
Fairhope with the early lead on the Hoover Bucks inside of Legacy Arena, the boys 7A semifinal. The final game of semifinal action here on this Thursday. Landrum Roberts along with Bart Hike. So glad you're with us. Another outstanding week. Plenty more to come here in Birmingham. The AHSAA championship action again earlier this week, and such a great event. And just when you think you can't be topped every year, they outdo themselves.
Yeah, this whole week has started out fun and competitive. Last game I wasn't as much, but it's always a great week. And you, myself, we're so fortunate to be able to be a part of it. And hope you're enjoying it at home. Give us a shout out if you are.
Plenty of folks still filing in. Missed that time, then a rejection out of bounds. It remains with Hoover. They had Michael Glass trying from the outside. Hoover struggling from the outside with the exception of Riley Kent. He's knocked down both of the made Hoover threes. The rest of the Bucks have not found the range.
Marcus has been active defensively. And, here's what you're going to see from Coach Scott Ware. He's going to continue to throw this ball into Jackson. Over and over again. Fouls are created or baskets. As long as he's not turning it over. Hoover right now actually with 3 turnovers. Jackson looks like he's a little bit off balance, falling left on his free throws. The last 2.
Kane Burns checks in for Hoover. Michael Glass has a seat.
One of 4 now for Sheffield.
Quickly back the other way. Olmstead out, open look. Alex Marcus.
Yeah, good call.
Again, Marcus, one of the better 3-point shooters on this Pirate squad. Scott Ware working one of our great officials. It's a friendly work.
He's like, man, do you know where Buttermilk Road in Cordova is? It's over by Union Jack.
Marcus back out to Olmsted, feeding the post.
It's a tough ass.
Draws the attention of 3 Hoover defenders.
Look at this. Oh, yeah.
And Millen.
Same team.
Good recovery. Couldn't get it right underneath the hoop. It's stolen.
Right now, Olmsted, last pass put his teammate in a bad position, and on that one, he's about to do it again if it hadn't been a turnover.
Intercepted by Michael Gates for Hoover. Now the Bucks with the basketball, trailing by 1. Seems like we've been at 8-7 for a while. Approaching the 2.5-minute mark of this opening period.
Look at the help coming behind Sheffield. And to that point, meeting the basketball. Sheffield doesn't do a great job like Chloe Ford of keeping the defenders in the post behind her. And that's the second foul on Big Jackson Sheffield. Probably see him sit for a while now. They're going to have to do it without him. Hoover is astronomically small. He goes out of the game. This is a huge development here for Fairhope.
Michael Glass and Mello June check in for the Bucks. Knox Wilson checks
Sheffield has his seat.
And Coach Rouse Watson knows it. Landrum. We've seen it a couple of times. The ability to get the other team's big out. That's got to be a foul there. That's the 4th foul on Hoover.
For a guy like Jackson Sheffield, so highly touted, going to play major Division I college basketball, you think pressing a little bit here early?
You know, maybe.
Not to take anything away from what Fairhope's done to defending, or limited him, as missed from the outside.
I think there's been a couple plays that he could have been better, and that's block, Garner.
Trey Garner with the block. Hoover retains possession. Now the Bucks. Just north of 2 minutes left in this first quarter. Michael Glass, who's checked back in, trying to run the baseline, cut off. Marcus knocks it out of bounds. Hoover will have it with exactly 2 minutes left from under their own basket.
I mean, that's the 3rd, maybe 4th deflection for Marcus. Active, especially on the dig.
Andres Hunt checks into the game for Fairhope. He'll replace number 14.
Andres Hunt, 5'10", senior guard. Checks in wearing number 3 for Fairhope, and a foul on the floor. Let's see if he's in the act of shooting.
Hoover
is so methodical out of their out-of-bounds plays, Coach Scott Ware. They live at the free throw line. Only 1 of 4. Trends continuing the same.
It was a shooting foul. Cisco free throw versus miss. Mark Howard Jr. was whistled for that foul for Fairhope. Hoover with 14 fouls. Fairhope with 3. Second Cisco free throw is good, and we're knotted at 8.
What does Fairhope get into? Ball screen action here with Olmsted. Might have had a fade. Look at this good drive. Length of Hoover's guards. Creating turnover.
Andres Hunt found out real quick. It gets weird when you get amongst those bigs, and Hoover was right there to swat it out of bounds.
Weird and uncomfortable, to add to your point. Not somewhere you really want to pick the ball up and be.
What's impressed me early is finding some of those entries, and with the entry pass, how quickly the Hoover defenders.
3 guys every time. Hoover's not a great shooting team, so
they react.
And that was what they do react. And here's Hoover again, getting to that free throw line, but not a great shooting team. And that's where the loss of Celine London is so important. Hadn't shot it that well for UAB this year, but made so many shots in that semi and final for Hoover last year when people dared him to shoot it. He did. But I like what Fairhope's doing. Every time Jackson Sheffield or anybody else catches in the post, there's going to be a guy behind him, and there's going to be a guy coming to double. 3 bodies.
Olmstead checks out after picking up the personal foul. Kick in the corner. Simon, no good.
That's a 3rd block for Garner.
Trey Garner with another block. Ken Barnett, one of our officials there on the baseline, says Hoover keeps it.
Yeah, look at Garner on his teammates. How about the help? Whatever the game plan is, the leader on the floor for Fairhope said that it wasn't being executed. Like the leadership by the junior. He's a good-looking player.
Riley Kent, he's got a couple of threes already in this half. Thought about another one. Instead goes to the corner and steps before contact is drawn. Kane Burns whistle for the travel. Now Fairhope back with the basketball under a minute left and trailing by 1. Now Marcus.
Good pass.
Howard Jr. in and out, no good.
Numbers.
Messiah Millen quickly back the other way.
Good transition defense by the Pirates.
Now Millen working against Howard Jr. Over to Kane Burns. Now Riley Kent.
Good defense. Lawson. Good job by Lawson there to create the turnover.
Knox Lawson with his best Andy Kennedy look from the 80s. The red hair. Not quite the crew cut.
I like the red.
It's a good look.
Mine didn't have nearly that much fire to it when I had it.
That's where I was going.
I know you were. That's why I took it from you.
Thank you.
I'm just here for your entertainment.
Fairhope with the basketball.
All right, so putting Garner at the point. What's the plan here? 5 out, cutting motion, ball screen slips. Trying to find a back cut's what it looks like. Run the clock down and then go get you one. Be a great finish. No good.
Garner contested 3. And almost getting it to go. Messiah Millen. 9-8 Hoover on top of this defensive contest that we have in the boys 7A semifinal. Back with the second quarter in a moment.
The world moves fast these days. Too fast, if you ask me. But out here in the woods, life slows down. It reminds us what's real, what's worth holding on to. It's a place where time seems to linger. The air feels lighter, and every moment is rooted in memories. A place for your children, your grandchildren, and every generation that follows to slow down, reconnect, and remember what matters most.
From Mobile to Florence, from Auburn to Tuscaloosa, for all your commercial or private paving needs is Alabama's premier surfacing company. 20 years experience has the equipment and personnel to handle any job anywhere in the state of Alabama. Call 205-648-3117.
Welcome back in a loaded up Thursday. Already 3 games in the book. I've lost count. It's been so much fun. Right here, we begin the second period. Hoover on top of Fairhope, 9-8. First 8 minutes, you've digested it. What'd you see?
Great quarter for Fairhope. I think they were actually more intense on defense than Hoover was, especially down around the basket. The second foul of Sheffield, huge. He starts the second quarter not on the floor. If Fairhope's going to shock the world, if you will, it needs to be now.
Trey Garner with a good look to his teammate. And a collision underneath the basket. Gus Faulkner took the brunt of it. And he'll go to the line for 2 Cisco free throws. Neither team shooting it well. A lot of that due to the defense. Hoover just over 15% from the field. Meanwhile, Fairhope at 30%. And the first Cisco free throw knocked down by Gus Faulkner, 6'2", junior forward. Misses that one.
7 turnovers for Hoover. If those cut down, it'll kind of be like we saw in Bob Jones. They haven't been able to make a lot of layups, but the rebound margin right now, 16 to 5 for Hoover. That's got to inch up. Look at this. Oh,
no,
man.
So pretty without the finish.
Oh, yeah, pulling. Love that.
Trey Garner. Missing again from the outside, and Ken Barnett quick with the whistle. You got a Fairhope player hitting the floor, and he's going to be whistled for the foul. It's Knox Lawson. We'll send it the other way.
He reached in there, and you see excellent official Ken Barnett explained it to him. Lawson did get the jump ball, but created it through maybe getting on one of the arms. Ken Barnett right there. Whippable.
Braden Bradley checks in for Fairhope. Where's number 23? Jones' teammate. Braden Goodbody.
Yeah, that's cool.
Knox Lawson, his second foul in about a minute of play. Coach Watson going to go to his bench. As Knox Lawson will come out.
Andres Hunt checks into the game for the Pirates. It's Hoover ball on the side.
Fills his void.
A couple of guys now. Olmstead, we haven't seen him 2 fouls. Also, Lawson now picking up his second as well.
And the foul before Jackson Sheffield could receive the pass. They're on the block. And the official right on top of it. And a good call.
So Scott Ware not wasting any more time. Gets Sheffield back in the game. Keep an eye on 35. Doesn't need to get his 3rd foul.
Michael Gates. Glass coming up empty. That's the 3rd 3 we've seen go halfway down and come back out of the cylinder.
We got a little clarification in the break. Coach Donnie Quinn, nice enough to come over.
You got clarification, Bart.
So you don't even know what happened.
No, I know exactly what happened. You brought it up on the broadcast, and then you had a Hoover assistant coach have to come and explain himself, which I don't think he needed to.
I mean, he probably didn't, but his wife mentioned to him, he said, and has said he had a scar issue on his head, but that's not why he's wearing the hat. Since he's been wearing it, Coach Crystal Johnson is superstitious.
Fill everybody in, though. This is Hoover Bucks girls assistant
coach. We mentioned earlier for those 2 men. Thank you, Landon.
Bart pointed out to everyone
no hats in
that
basketball.
He was wearing a hat on the sideline, and I pointed out to Bart, probably shouldn't have brought it up, and then coach feels the need after wife calls him watching our broadcast to explain. Fairhope for the basket, Bart count on top, 11-10.
You're right. Thanks, Nick Bogut. Unbelievable.
Working around Riley Kent. It's guarded by Howard Jr.
Good defense by Olmstead.
Yeah, not giving officials letting them play.
Look at this.
Kicked out. Reese Olmstead. Looking for help. Couldn't find it. Riley Kent intercepts the pass. Back the other way. Glass. Set it back. Pirates back quickly on defense.
Olmstead, the point guard for Fairhope, has got to take better care of the basketball. His last 3 touches have turned into turnovers. One was a bad pass. He put his teammate in a position where he couldn't succeed. And then the last 2, just careless with the basketball. Can't turn that thing over.
No, one of the more high percentage shots we've seen from the Bucks. What do you know? Michael Gates finds the bottom of the net. Hoover back out in front by 1. Now Garner, Olmstead, 3, just short. Millen, the rebound, out to Riley Kent. Kent against Olmstead, he's quickly back. Shuts off the baseline.
Nice cut off of the baseline with those 2 fouls guarding if you're Olmstead.
Hoover will set things up. Messiah Millen gets by the defender. Back out top to Mello June. Jackson Sheffield, the big man, still on the bench with the 2 fouls for Scott Ware and the Hoover Bucks.
It's a great game. Mello June. Defense
fighting through the contact. Almost got it to go. To Michael Gates. Fairhope with the rebound. Olmsted out to Howard Jr. I'm going to ask you, what constitutes a rock fight?
See, that's another bad pass. You get the foul, but if you're going to throw it in here in the post, when you know the double's coming, without Sheffield in the game, Hoover doubles the post anytime it goes in there. That was the wrong target. Lucky it was a foul.
Would you call this a rock fight right now?
Love that. Olmsted come back. Made a couple of bad passes. Made the three-point miss. But felt the rim in the miss. And nice pull, Zero.
Here's Olmsted.
There's the defense.
With the Reeves Custom Homes 3. Olmsted only came in averaging just under 6 points per game. 3 there gives his Fairhope Pirates a 2-point advantage. Still 4 minutes remaining here in this opening half. It's final semifinal action of the week. And the stage will be set. And it begins this evening. Coverage by APT. With the 1A girls and the 1A boys finals. And we roll it into tomorrow. Timeout on the floor. Fairhope with a 2-point advantage. Trying to dethrone the Hoover Bucks.
February is Truck Month at Tony Serra Ford. Now is the perfect time to take home a powerful new Ford truck with serious savings. Get up to $10,000 off a new Ford truck. Or well-qualified buyers can put no money down and enjoy payments as low as $399 a month on select popular models. A new Ford is closer than ever. Celebrate Truck Month and drive home your new Ford from Tony Serra Ford in Sylacauga.
To stay in your right lane, you need to stay in your right mind. Bro, you need to steer clear of the weed. Literally. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. You know, there are a lot of suggestions on how to drive, but that speed limit isn't one of them. I think that's for you. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it.
Everything we bargained for and more so far in the 7A boys semifinal is Fairhope has jumped ahead in the seesaw affair 14-12. Big reason why. That young man, Trey Gardner, some big blocks on the defensive end.
KJ Steele on the line for Hoover.
Now a Cisco free throw. Up and good. KJ Steele. Well, Scott Ware just continues to unload big guys off the bench. Steele with 2 Cisco-made free throws. Back at 14 all.
Fairhope's done a good job, Leonard, taking care of the basketball. His first 8 minutes. That was deep, Olmsted.
Olmsted missing the mark on that one. Short and wide.
Oh.
He tried to find his teammate Andres Hunt. Instead,
pitch up.
Intercepted the other way. Hunt with the block at the other end. Now Garner racing out. He's fouled before he put it up. It's a foul on the floor. For Hoover, that's team foul number 4. Fairhope playing with 5. No bonus for either team yet.
every possession really mattering. Fairhope is hanging right in.
Garner, great drive, great look.
Good save.
Wouldn't fall. At the other end. 3 attempts from close range. There's a lid on it. A lot of contested shots, a lot of bodies flying around. And they're letting them play. I appreciate it.
I couldn't agree more, Martin. Fairhope is somewhat taking it to Hoover. On the glass and around the rim. Rebounds. Yeah, they're 22-10. And I like the effort of Fairhope. I like all the hands in the steals here there, but that rebound total, 23-10, without Jackson Sheffield in the game, that number may grow. You don't want that number to grow if you're Fairhope. Jackson Sheffield, you see here, just like Coach Johnson did earlier, Coach Scott Ware, getting Sheffield back in for this possession.
Kane Burns, KJ Steele with a trap of Garner inducing the steps. So Hoover gets it back. We'll try to break this tie with under 3 minutes remaining here in the second period.
Look how deep that is, man.
Jackson Sheffield. Wow, he was deep.
Well, when he sits down, those long strides.
It doesn't take him long to get there.
Not with that length. The step through, and then that was a left finish. Soft touch. Good pressure by Fairhope here.
Trey Garner getting tangled up. He's slow to get up. The other end, Hoover off the turnover. Can't complete the bucket, but a foul called. Mark Howard Jr.
Michael Gates will have 2 shots for the Bucks.
Michael Gates goes to the line for Hoover.
Reese Olmstead and Alex Marquez check in for Fairhope.
First Cisco free throw is good.
Number 32, KJ Steele.
KJ Steele checks back in. Jackson Sheffield has another seat on the bench. I'm sure Scott Ware thinking you don't want him to pick up that 3rd foul before intermission.
Yeah, he's going offense, defense. And like we talked about earlier, I absolutely love that. Fairhope needs, that's a big non-scoring possession for Fairhope. Last couple of finishes, the length on the interior without Sheffield defensively. Steele doing an excellent job picking up the slack and contesting, altering the shot. AG was really good. Excuse me, AG. Glass was really good. Left-handed guard, you see number 5 here at the regional end. Kind of facilitate. Look at these hands.
5-0 run right now for Hoover.
Man, Marcus is everywhere. I really like number 14, Landry. Hadn't made a lot of shots. Hadn't scored. He's over 3, over 2 from 3, but his 8 minutes, he's got 1 turnover and at least 3 or 4 deflections, a couple of steals. Played hard. All right, so Sheffield comes back in the game now, resting Steele. Offense, defense.
Sia Millen able to chase down the inbound pass. He's being guarded tightly by Braden Bradley.
See there? See the hand to catch? That's what I'm talking about Sheffield has a hard time sometimes with the catch and not sitting down, being too high, allowing the defender to reach around. It's been excellent defense on the interior by Garner. I mean, he has got 8 points, 3 of 8. 1-1 from the line, but defensively Garner has been really good today. 6 blocks for Fairhope, only 1 for Hoover, and a little bit to do with that is the fouls on Sheffield, but looks like Coach Scott Ware's going to go offense defense for the rest of the half again.
You had Gus Faulkner with a pirouette lane that was knocked out of bounds, and then Mark Howard Jr. has the same done to him. Hoover with a contesting defense, and the Bucks get the ball back with a 3-point lead. Just over a minute left.
Bucky McMillan, when we saw him in this tournament so much.
I'm sorry, who?
That used to be young kid that won state championships here.
Is it not hard to believe now when you see him on the sideline for Texas A&M? It still is for me. I never questioned it.
Well, here's the thing.
It's just surreal. We used to see him. And he had the laid-back look before coaches were going to the laid-back look.
Now, that's a great point. And he also knew just his knowledge of basketball. Like, he knew when his team was 6 or 7-0, heat check. He knew when his team was 6 or 7-0 that Tennessee game when he got shoused up in Knoxville, every win would matter. And he knew his team throughout the course of the SEC season, the lack of depth, when he got the job, all those things. Bucky McMillan, when he gets his players in the system and has time to recruit, I'm anxious to see what he can do in this league. Oh, man, that's a really bad pass.
And he finds a wide open Messiah Millen, another turnover for the Pirates. And past 3-4 minutes, that's unfortunately what Fairhope has done and turned the ball over.
Yeah, and now you all of a sudden see the turnover battle not only even up, but Hoover now has more points off turnovers than Fairhope does. And the other thing is, all these offensive rebounds for Hoover. Here's the great thing about what Fairhope has been able to do on the interior. Landrum, 15. Yes, count them. 15 offensive rebounds in this first half for Hoover. But only, with all that size, second chance points, only 3-0. So Fairhope digging. We talked about Tuscaloosa County and how good they are at it. It really helped them get to the final. And Fairhope's in this thing, Landrum, and I don't really, to be honest, see until you get Sheffield going on the interior. Jackson Sheffield only 4 points, 2 of 6 from the line, only 6 minutes for Jackson Sheffield. That has to be some of the difference.
Hoover 4 of 24 on field goals. Fairhope 5 of 19. Millen contested 3 at the 1. It won't fall. Hoover somehow looks up, and they lead by 3 heading into intermission. Well, it wasn't easy. Something tells me the next 16 minutes won't be either. Cisco halftime report. Kevin Skarbinski comes your way next.
Hey, grab me one too.
At Jacksonville State University, the journey starts with you. It begins with your ambition, your curiosity, your dreams. Here, you forge your own path. You have the power to make a difference, explore new horizons, and turn your passions into your future. At Jack State, we journey forward together. The journey starts with you.
Welcome back to Legacy Arena. We're at halftime of the second 7A boys semifinal. Looks like a football score. Hoover 17, Fairhope 14. We're going to find out who will meet Tuscaloosa County in the 7A boys state championship game on Saturday evening. Tuscaloosa County hasn't won it all since 1960. Fairhope has never won a state title in boys basketball. Hoover going for a four-peat, but they have their hands full right now with the Pirates, who on the back of their jerseys, it says The Hope. The hope is they're going to knock off the Hoover boys dynasty, and they're very close to doing so. We've got to run to a break. Much more to come here from Legacy Arena in Birmingham.
The world moves fast these days. Too fast, if you ask me. But out here in the woods, life slows down. It reminds us what's real, what's worth holding on to. It's a place where time seems to linger. The air feels lighter, and every moment is rooted in memories. A place for your children, your grandchildren, and every generation that follows to slow down, reconnect, and remember what matters most.
From Mobile to Florence, from Auburn to Tuscaloosa, for all your commercial or private paving needs is Alabama's premier surfacing company. 20 years experience has the equipment and personnel to handle any job anywhere in the state of Alabama. Call 205-648-3117.
Shop our President's Day trade-in event at AHSAA Nissan in Silicaga. All month long, we're offering you top dollar for your trade. Trade into a new Nissan Rogue with 0% financing for 60 months or up to $2,000 in customer cash. Or take home an all-new Pathfinder or Frontier with 1.9% financing or up to $2,500 in customer cash. Don't miss our President's Day trade-in event happening all month long at AHSAA Nissan in Silicaga. Shop our President's Day trade-in event at AHSAA Nissan in Silicaga. All month long, we're offering you top dollar for your trade. Trade into a new Nissan Rogue with 0% financing for 60 months or up to $2,000 in customer cash. Or take home an all-new Pathfinder or Frontier with 1.9% financing or up to $2,500 in customer cash. Don't miss our President's Day trade-in event happening all month long at AHSAA Nissan.
Welcome to Alabama Public Television to the 2026 AHSAA State Basketball Championships. We have 14 games to decide champions, 7 on the boys' side, 7 on the girls' side. We will tip it off this afternoon with the 1A girls. We've got number 1 Winterboro against Marion County, followed by the 1A boys' final. Brantley against Hubbardville. Hubbardville, one of the upsets of the week to this point. They took down defending champion R.C. Hatch. And those will be, as I said, just the first 2 of 14 championship games through Saturday evening. You can watch every second on APT. And joining us from APT, our old friend Jack Williams. Jack, I know you're excited about what we're going to see from here.
Tremendous. And we've got a little extra basketball for folks today.
That's right. We get bonus coverage because the 7A boys semifinal, Dothan losing to Tuscaloosa County. You're going to get bonus coverage of the second half of the Hoover Fairhope semifinal. Very tight game. Hoover going for a 4-peat. They're only beating Fairfield. Not only are they only winning by 3, but it's 17-14.
You know, the girls' game, which really got out of hand, was tied 11-11 at one point, and the Hoover girls beat Alma Bryant 92-47. I don't think this game's going to get out of hand like that.
Did you have to repeat that score? Was that necessary? The Hoover girls, of course, under Crystal Johnson, they are the dynasty in basketball in the state at the moment. They have won 5 consecutive state championships, 11 overall. They're going for a 6-peat. Is that a word? Did we just invent a new word?
Hoover invented a word.
Yes. They're going to play for the state championship, of course, on Saturday. The Hoover boys trying to join them again, and they've done this 3 straight years where they've won both the girls and the boys, but the Hoover boys are in jeopardy right now.
They are. This is going to be a close game. But, you know, Kevin, as excited as I am about the big schools, we got exciting basketball coming up live in the 1A boys and girls games. That's going to be that's just fun basketball because these small communities are playing their hearts out, and it's just entertaining to see. And it's great to see them on a big stage like this and on statewide television, on Alabama Public Television.
You will see most of these communities here in Legacy Arena. I'm not sure anyone will be left behind in all of these towns as their teams compete for state championships. This is what they're playing for. We talk about the blue map all the time. State champions in the Alabama High School Athletic Association earn a blue map. and they will hand out 14 of them over the next 3 days. And it is really exciting when you have the 1A and 2A. And again, 1A today. Tomorrow we'll have 2A, 3A, and 4A championships for the girls and the boys. And reminder, we always alternate girls, boys games. And then on Saturday, Class 5A, Class 6A, and Class 7A. And that will wrap up our championship week. And Jack, it has been a tremendous week of basketball so far.
Didn't we figure earlier 25% of the games have been 5 points or less? 8
games so far have been decided by 5 points or less. That Tuscaloosa County Dothan boys 7A semifinal earlier today was an absolute thriller. Tuscaloosa County with a furious comeback. Let's look at the big board on what we're looking at today. Again, you get the second half of Hoover and Fairhope. Then you want to stay tuned for the 1A girls final and the 1A boys final. You can see it here only on Alabama Public Television. Don't go away.
The world moves fast these days. Too fast, if you ask me. But out here in the woods, life slows down. It reminds us what's real, what's worth holding on to. It's a place where time seems to linger. The air feels lighter, and every moment is rooted in memories. A place for your children, your grandchildren, and every generation that follows to slow down, reconnect, and remember what matters most.
From Mobile to Florence, from Auburn to Tuscaloosa, for all your commercial or private paving needs is Alabama's premier surfacing company. 20 years experience has the equipment and personnel to handle any job anywhere in the state of Alabama. Call 205-648-3117.
At Jacksonville State University, the journey starts with you. It begins with your ambition, your curiosity, your dreams. Here, you forge your own path. You have the power to make a difference, explore new horizons, and turn your passions into your future. At Jack State, we journey forward together. The journey starts with you.
Welcome back inside Legacy Arena. Second half of the boys 7A semifinal. Hoover and Fairhope. The Bucks with a field goal lead, 17-14. Ransom Roberts along with Bart Heitch. Fairhope with the basketball inbounding. Knox Lawson. I would guess that he's going to have to be big for the Pirates. Maybe more of those. Mark Howard Jr. finds pay dirt from the corner. Fairhope, just like that as we begin the second half of play. Evens the score once again. Jackson Sheffield. That's been a fun battle. Trey Gardner. Sheffield wins that one.
Scott Ware, as always, throwing in the post. In the post touch out of the half. It's probably 80% of the time. 85% of the time out of halftime. Hoover's about to start going inside with this thing. And then what will happen, they'll throw it inside. You'll see the conversion. Sheffield will either score or be able to.
What a nice look. He drew the attention from the outside, and then he found Knox Lawson, who collected himself with the bunny underneath. Back tied at 19. Messiah Miller. Looking up top against Olmstead. Over to Glass. Now back to Millen.
3 guys around Sheffield. That'll open things up a little bit for Hoover if Burns starts making shots.
Kane Burns with a heater from the corner.
Oh, ankle.
certainly looked like it. Olmsted, he's quickly back. Looks like he's all right with the run out. Riley Kent, who's the Bucks' offensive weapon. From the outside, at least in the first half, with the easy 2 there.
Valuing the basketball starting to become an issue for Fairhope.
Turnovers that lead to points, and now Hoover with a chance to extend a 5-point lead as Olmsted just looked like he tripped over his own feet. Finding Riley Kent streaking down the court. Hoover boys looking a lot like the Hoover girls. Tough defense that leads to points on the other end.
Well said, partner. And Burns a couple of times. And teammate Marcus Bullard say, I'm going to put that blade on that forearm. That's an excellent pass. That's exactly what we saw. Northeast Regional from Hoover coming out of the half, getting in the interior, but everything went through glass to Sheffield.
Anders Hunt.
That guy might have got hit.
Trey Gardner. He's frustrated. He's had some good looks, and this is dating back to the first half. Had some good looks there. May have called that time well contested. Trey Gardner, as good as he has been on the defensive end with all the blocks, frustrated. And drawing the assignment of one Jackson Sheffield is timeout on the floor. Over 5.5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter, Bart. And we have seen a low-scoring contest. We didn't expect a huge offensive output with these two teams and their DNA. But I didn't expect this. It's 26-19.
It is in the second half. The Hoover defense, as we saw in the last game, very important to Coach Scott Ware. And Fairhope not able to get anything going, but the ability to get the ball in the post from Hoover right out of the half, the emphasis has been there pretty much all year, but especially throughout this tournament to get on this run and get here. And we're seeing exactly the same. The thing is, in dynasties with great coaches, they know their personnel. They know what they're good at, and they know how to get them in positions where they can succeed. I've seen it over and over from Walker County. Look at Sheffield with a little dive, pocket dive.
With a nonchalant bounce pass. Knocked away. That was good. That saved an easy bucket for Hoover. The defensive play by the Pirates is Millen.
Now go. Now go.
And the jumper. Garner didn't go up to block it. Millen just couldn't get it to go. Mark Howard Jr. underneath. Second shot, no good. Back up top. Now Olmsted thinks about it. Fairhope resets. Ralph Watson. Arms crossed, no panic. Knox Lawson is sophomore. That's number 11. He's been a weapon, especially throughout the playoffs. But so far, the scoring for everyone has been hard to come by. Michael Gates checking back in. King Burns heading out. Jackson Sheffield will take a rest.
I don't want to say danger time because it's not quite that dire.
I'm feeling
for the Pirates, but I mean, they're not really able to get anything at the rim. This has been the only guy. He made that three-pointer. Look at Lawson and Ormstead. Good timeout. And look over and you see Coach Ralph Watson didn't like he called.
That's why he doesn't have any hair right there. You saw it.
I can relate.
Right there. Ralph Watson.
Very well.
The timeout. His team trailing by 7 here in the third.
Hey, grab me one too.
At Jacksonville State University, the journey starts with you. It begins with your ambition, your curiosity, your dreams. Here, you forge your own path. You have the power to make a difference, explore new horizons, and turn your passions into your future. At Jack State, we journey forward together. The journey starts with you.
(26-19) our score. The boys 7A semifinal, or final semifinal of the afternoon. Lands from Roberts, Bart Heights. Bart, it's now a race to see which one of these teams can get to 30% shooting from the field. Both were in the teens at halftime. The good news is we had a 17-14 Hoover advantage at the half, and you can see that the scoring pace has picked up just a bit.
Well, as things stand now, you have Hoover up 7, and obviously game not close to being over, but you start looking toward the final, just kind of peaking. And if it is this Hoover team that moves on, Tuscaloosa County creates some problems, especially on the dig when Sheffield's having such a hard time. Look at this lane. Great effort by Garner. Great effort by Garner.
Knox Lawson. Underneath, Mark Howard Jr., the pressure, the steal. Whites off the turnover. Almost got another one.
They heard me talking about Hoover moving on. Yeah, it's active now, Fairhope, especially Lawson. He's kind of getting down the passing lanes. Yeah, it's got to be with the defense that Fairhope forces Hoover into some uncomfortable situations, and almost had a steal there. Nice tip by Sheffield.
6'10", Jackson Sheffield. There with the putback, and it's a good thing because Fairhope stealing some momentum, and they had 4 straight. And now Hoover back to a 5-point lead. Andres Hunt stays on the floor.
I like
Ralph
this
Watson.
take. Oh. The help came.
Olmstead.
But hey, I like that he was aggressive.
See the contested. Manila. Knox Lawson there. Quick inbound. Andres Hunt. How about the quicks by number 3 wearing white? Knox Lawson, his teammate.
Hoover does an excellent job, not just scoring off the out of bounds when they have the ball, but also defending around the basket, and that makes it pretty easy that Jackson Sheffield's in the middle. That's not a foul. That's excellent defense by Sheffield.
And Trey Garner, the frustration continues to grow for him on the offensive end of the floor.
So let's look at the move now that I think you're going to see. Look at this lineup for Hoover. Burns, Gates, Sheffield, Steele. I'm looking to see who the other guy is.
Olmstead trying to split the defenders. Michael Gates.
What Scott Ware is doing, he went big. And he did this a little bit last year with Wayne Brown and Jackson Sheffield. And now choosing to bring his big fella in the game steal. Nice crease there by Fairhope.
Knox Lawson, his second bucket in as many minutes.
Nice by Glass.
Pirates back to within 5. You had Burns and Gates checking out for Hoover a moment ago. Now, good defensive play by Garner. Garner now taking it the other end. Olmstead back out. Garner, 3. Thought he had that one. Can't find the stroke right now. Trey Garner, what he's doing on the defensive end, yeoman's work. Here he's called for the foul as Jackson Sheffield was about to have another easy one.
Certainly is. Yeah, you see the trouble, if you will, that Jackson Sheffield creates when he's playing free and harder and loose, because the 2 fouls don't matter nearly as much as they did in the first half, and kind of having his way. But I like the move by Coach Scott Ware to go with a couple of bigs here. Sheffield's going to get a break, a couple of minutes to go, and give him some rest for the down home stretch.
And I wonder if we see more of it. It's just so tough. Hoover's done a good job of taking him away. But Marcus, who, by the way, was called for that last personal foul for Fairhope, he's one of their better three-point shooters. In fact, Marcus has knocked down more than any other Pirate this season. So far today, limited. Glass. The turnover. The textbook layup. And it's an 8-point Hoover advantage.
Is the pressure. It's man-to-man, the length inside. Sheffield out. You're not as big, but pressure's turned up. And is Fairhope getting fatigued? Kind of seeing some signs of that. But every time that lead's gotten to like 6 or 8, Landrum, Fairhope's been able to get down the court and make a shot. Coach Scott Ware knows that his team's not nearly out of the woods in the semi yet, but you got to like the way your team has responded in the second half out of the locker room. Playing efficient, much more efficient basketball this Hoover in the second half.
Good point, partner. Trey Garner. Marcus, there he is. Got the look he wanted, but he couldn't connect.
Yeah, if they get it out of this trap, Fairhope is starting to trap now everywhere, and Hoover's just going to find open folks. Almost a block there.
It was Millen. And a rebound out to his teammate. Glass somehow got it to go, and the foul.
Glass just does so many things right when his team needs him to. He's the creator at times. Coach Ware trusts the ball in the lefty's hands. And they're just English. The and one.
And number 12, Mark Howard Jr.
Mark Howard Jr. checks back in. Knox Lawson heads out for the moment, along with his teammate Gus Faulkner. Michael Glass trying to complete the three-point play. Gusso, the Cisco free throw. 12-point Hoover lead all of the sudden. Bucks led by 3 at halftime. The early part of this third quarter, Fairhope able to keep it close. Marcus, another miss from 3. And the Bucks try to extend. Scott Ware with a timeout on the Hoover sideline.
This is a full
timeout. The Bucks want to talk about it. 41.2 remaining here in the third period, but Hoover here in the second half after 17 total points the first 16 minutes. They've already bested that output. The 20 here in the second half. Big reason why Jackson Sheffield and the defense, we're seeing that leads to the points that we just saw from Michael Glass.
Well, we talked about him playing freer. He's only played 12 minutes, like, you know, and we're almost done with the third quarter, but in those 12 minutes, extremely efficient. 12 points, 6 rebounds, and only 1 turnover. Even though he hadn't caught the ball, only 1 turnover.
Well, coming up, roughly 4 o'clock, you get the 1A girls final, and our friends at APT with that coverage for all you folks statewide. And we get the 1A boys, Brantley and Hubbardsville. 5:45. We'll crank back up tomorrow with a full slate of championship action as well as Saturday. I do have good news to report. Hoover is the first team to eclipse the 30% field goal mark. Now the Bucks at 33%, so steadily climbing. Meanwhile, Fairhope at 29%, 10 of 35 shooting.
For Fairhope. Oh.
Sheffield.
This worked. Keep working, big fella.
And Andres
Good job by
Hunt.
Fairhope, though.
Andres Hunt, he's been all over the place for Ralph Watson and Fairhope defensively. They're causing trouble. Good sportsmanship, attempting to try to pull up the 6'10" Jackson Sheffield.
Yeah, and Hunt, one of those guys who really takes pride in his defense. Vocal teammate. Where does Fairhope go in this last possession to try to either get this lead to single digits or get it to 10?
Braden Goodbody also in for the Pirates. Faulkner. The frustration. And I'm feeling you, Trey. Jackson Sheffield has had that impact on a lot of players in his career. It's one of the reasons he's going to play for Coach Mark Byington in Nashville for the Vanderbilt Commodores.
And I really like that sign for Byington or commit, whichever one. I'm sure he signed by now, but lack of ability to protect the rim for Vandy this season. Jackson Sheffield, just because of his shot blocking prowess, will definitely probably come in and contribute. You know, not really sure if it's redshirt, you want to work on the feet, or but at the same time, the shot blocking, that's what Jackson Sheffield does so well, and he's only going to continue to improve.
Well, Hoover trying to replicate what we saw from the Hoover girls, and that's advanced to another 7A state championship game. They're 8 minutes away from doing so.
The world moves fast these days. Too fast, if you ask me. But out here in the woods, life slows down. It reminds us what's real, what's worth holding on to. It's a place where time seems to linger. The air feels lighter, and every moment is rooted in memories. A place for your children, your grandchildren, and every generation that follows to slow down, reconnect, and remember what matters most.
From Mobile to Florence, from Auburn to Tuscaloosa, for all your commercial or private paving needs is Alabama's premier surfacing company. 20 years experience has the equipment and personnel to handle any job anywhere in the state of Alabama. Call 205-648-3117.
Like burlap. Breathable burlap.
Start of the fourth quarter, Landry Roberts. That's Bart Heitch.
There he is. Talking about my pants.
13-point advantage for Scott Ware and the Hoover Bucks. 23, 24, 25, the Blue Maps. 7A. Trying to arrange a date in Tuscaloosa County, who emerged victorious in our first semifinal. On the boys' side of things, 75-70 over Dothan, and the Wolves came into Birmingham with a 30-4 record. Tuscaloosa County continuing to show what they call the Wildcat way. Reese Olmstead.
Glass, just tenacious on defense, staying in front of people. And, yeah, there's nowhere to go for Olmstead. Just clinic by Glass.
How about Sheffield? Able to save it. The athleticism of the 6'10" big man. Now Millen, extra pass. Glass from the outside. Almost got it to go. And kicked off the glass, hit the rim a couple of times. Trey Garner looks up, and who else?
Uh-oh.
It's Jackson Sheffield.
Landrum Fairhope. 11 points in the second half. Even so long in the first, and the baskets have just been so hard to come by. Good entry. Good entry.
Good body with a bucket. If you don't know about this Fairhope team, this is the team that lost two very impactful players early in the season, Jackson Gully and Cooper Gardner. Torn ACLs in consecutive days. But still, playing here in the Final Four. and representing the South quite well.
And Landrum, that foul on Sheffield, his third, picked up his second. With 4 minutes to go in the first. How about how Coach Scott Ware has managed the foul trouble of his interior presence? I mean, didn't pick up the third until now. And that, yeah, it says something about Scott Ware. It says even more about Jackson Sheffield and affecting all those shots, blocking all those shots with those fouls. And finally picking up the third.
Trey Garner hits 1 of 2 Cisco free throws. And you just see body language tells it all. Trey Garner's frustrated. Coming in, averaging almost 16 points. Today's been held to 9 on 3 of 12 shooting. 1 of those from the outside, 2 of 3 at the line. Jackson Sheffield backboard here inside of Legacy Arena, continuing to shake.
Jackson Sheffield to the line for the Hoover Bucks.
So, in these 7A games, we have seen, I know it's the central region, but I would somewhat consider Tuscaloosa, North Alabama more so than South. Is that a fair assessment?
No.
What would you consider it?
I don't know. I would call it West.
Okay. I think it's probably over half upstairs, though.
Give you the tiebreaker.
Just the continued wins racking up in the north part of the state.
Across the line, Andres Hunt over to Olmsted.
If this continues, obviously.
Howard Jr. Mark can't find it. And Hunt battling for the rebound. Riley Kent. Last touch by Kent. Pirates keep it in front of their own bench. Under 6 minutes to play and trailing by 12.
Oh, I don't mind that pull at all down 12. You got to manufacture something. Transition game. Go get you one.
Instead, after the 3 miss, the block at the other end. Now Knox Lawson trying to navigate through traffic. And got bailed out with a foul. Messiah Millen. Whistled for it. So the Pirates will inbound.
Returns to the game for Hoover.
Far side of the way. We got substitution coming in for Hoover. Trey Garner. Draws the assignment of Gates. Garner, second effort.
Scores 2.
That'll help the cause. He's now got double digits.
He's only, as you stated, partner got 11 points, but he's worked so hard the entire game to try to find creases to the basket, but defensively, Garner's been excellent. But now, how about Jackson Sheffield up to 16 points and 7 rebounds?
That's a turnover, not a takeaway. Scott Ware just saw him mouth to his assistant coaches, we've got to settle down.
Well, and it's the turnovers. 14 turnovers for Hoover. It's not something that Scott Ware's used to seeing from his team and what he knows glass by glass.
Messiah Millen, he went down. Looked like he slipped on the floor, and Millen is in obvious pain. Scott Ware, the first out to greet him, his head coach, now the training staff. Well, members of the Encore team out. And maybe just a cramp, looks like it.
Oh. Did you ever get cramp?
Oh, right in the bottom of the foot, too.
Right, left, you remember? I caught one in football one night. Immediately when I started fall, I thought I was recovering and caught one in the other leg. And the pain, the initial intense pain of cramps, if that's what it is, if you hadn't ever had one in the course of the game, is you think there's something.
No, this was post career. This was grown up life, just randomly getting a cramp.
Too much like when you lay in the bed and your foot will get a cramp.
I'll tell you though, right after college, I agreed to play in a slow pitch softball league with some of my buddies.
Okay.
Joined the team. Hit a grounder, run into first. Quad 1 goes out. Quad 2 goes out. I still made it to first.
I mean,
and I'm calling for the bench. I'm saying, hey, you guys got to come pick me up. Come get me. They're laughing, thinking that I'm kidding. And I just sat on first base. Somebody's going to have to come get me.
Did they carry you on?
No. When we won the game.
Well,
I was the hero.
Probably
that was my last slow pitch softball game.
It was 2000. I played some.
You played professionally. You had a sponsor.
I did.
Back when we were living together. No, he played the travel circuit. I won't say who the sponsor was, but
don't.
Yeah.
My friends always called it T-ball. We're going to play T-ball this weekend. And I remember tore a hamstring celebrating a Mississippi State touchdown in 2014 against Auburn.
Was that the only one you guys had that year?
No, we actually scored a bunch of them that day against y'all. But we used
now
to
the problem is you just can't stop anybody.
We would run to touch the brick wall up in the scoreboard club and outside on the terrace, and sniper got me. And folks, don't try to go full speed.
No.
25 years later when you don't ever do it. That's the moral of the story. All right, back to action.
So we can appreciate all this youth we see on the floor right now.
Action.
How resilient those bodies are. Knox Lawson congested underneath, kicks it out. Now the Pirates working around. Marcris, yes. Finally the look that Alex Marcris wanted. He can shoot it from out there, and all of a sudden, he's single digits. Got a turnover.
Yeah, Coach Scott Ware is screaming at Burns to get back into play. Looks for the run out, and those turnovers again mounting up for Hoover, and Fairhope's going to make a run. He'll do it here.
Knox Lawson off to Olmstead.
Yeah. Definitely a foul.
Kim Barnett with the whistle. Mike Olmstead got caught up just a bit. He was worried that he was going to take steps, but the whistle, Ken Barnett, right before that. Trey Gardner to inbound. Olmstead. Glass. Wow. What a swing. 4-point swing. Kane Burns at the other end, just when Fairhope could have cut it to 6. Now the lead back to 11 for Hoover, and looking to add.
Great running of the lane to get outside.
Gates with a nice dish to Mello June. June can't finish, but Gates right back to put it in. 46-33, nearing 3.5 minutes here in the fourth. Olmstead against Glass. Fouled on the floor. The Hoover Bucks.
Timeout on the floor. This is an official time.
Getting it done. Just over 3.5 minutes away from another championship game.
February is Truck Month at Tony Serra Ford. Now is the perfect time to take home a powerful new Ford truck with serious savings. Get up to $10,000 off a new Ford truck. Or well-qualified buyers can put no money down and enjoy payments as low as $399 a month on select popular models. A new Ford is closer than ever. Celebrate Truck Month and drive home your new Ford from Tony Serra Ford in Sylacauga.
To stay in your right lane, you need to stay in your right mind. Bro, you need to steer clear of the weed. Literally. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. You know, there are a lot of suggestions on how to drive, but that speed limit isn't one of them. I think that's for you. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it.
Welcome back inside of Legacy Arena. Just over 3.5 minutes left. This boys 7A semifinal. Hoover had a 3-point halftime lead. They've extended that lead and then some. Bucks leading Fairhope by 13. Let's take a look at the rest of our schedule after this one. The title matchups begin. The 1A girls, Winterboro and Marion County, followed by Brantley and Hubbardsville in the 1A boys. And this game's broadcast by our friends at APT. So glad you're with us, wherever you may be watching. A lot of families and just a lot of basketball fans enjoying a great event put on by the AHSAA in the city of Birmingham every single year. Marcus, who finally found the range from 3. Fairhope could use some more of those. Homestead back out. Trey Garner likes it, in and out. Garner hit one in the first half. Hasn't gotten one to fall from the outside since.
Love the pull, though. Hoover's not going to stop attacking.
The extra pass. Garner with another block. He's got to have 6.
Bring it back.
Maybe 7. Messiah Millen. Oh, nice extra look.
Short.
Kane Burns. Too light on that attempt. Slauson can't control it. Knocked away. Now Messiah Millen. Down to Burns. Over to Gates for Hoover.
Yeah, and then Hoover now may work with some clock. You know, Coach Scott Ware, we've seen they'll have a lead. The shot clock again in the state of Alabama. And clock management, time and score. Know when to and when not to. And when you've won a lot of those state championships like Coach Scott Ware, Coach Crystal Johnson, Coach Tim Miller, all those RC championships, at some point or another with a double-digit lead, you're going to see them start running clock under the last 3 minutes. Sometimes you see it sooner than that. With Fairhope now, 3 fouls to get in the bonus. I think you got to start thinking about fouling the Pirates. Good keeping your dribble alive there and not picking it up in a bad place.
You mentioned the shot clock, and it's way above my pay grade. Do we get the adoption at some point of the shot clock in the state?
I think it happens. You know, it's an implementation thing. It's not, I don't think that people don't want it. It's how do you implement it in the state, especially in the rural areas. Not just the cost. It was a backcourt. But it's not just the cost. It's having the people and bodies to run it. I think you will see it. I think it's needed. But if there's one thing that people come to me while I'm here in multiple conversations, even I've had today, it's like, man, you got to work on getting us a shot clock. I think it'll be here within the next 3 years. I will say that. Conversations that have been had. I think you're good. I talked to a coach yesterday, a 7A coach, that he's already starting to gear toward it, the way he plays. And so I really believe that the shot clock changes the dynamic of how a lot of these coaches and teams play if it gets implemented. We won't know till it happens, but for now, continue playing it just like back when we played.
One of the best, and we're in his presence, the legendary coach George Hatchett. It definitely would have changed the way that his teams played when he was coaching all those years. Such success he had at Vestavia.
Well, it's strategy has always been a part of every sport. But in basketball, the ultimate equalizer for a team that's not as good, if you can pass the dribble, it's kind of like being out in the yard when you're a kid with your cousins or friends, and point A to point B, just treated that one. The old rookie of the year trick to where you throw the ball up, act like you're going to throw the ball up. Is that a good analogy?
That was.
Thank you. I thought so. Some might not.
You get a gold star for that one. Marcus back in is Kane Burns at the line for Hoover. And Cisco free throw is good.
Man, it was always a good day back at the old Kansas Church of Christ. Shout out to my cousin Larry Hall in the hospital in Walker County, and sweet cousin Cindy. Prayers up for that man, and to the point, the old Kansas Church of Christ, close to the heart, and just wanted to give that shout out.
Scott Ware, some encouragement. His players on the sideline and able to breathe a little easier now. First Cisco free throw knocked down by Olmsted. Hoover leading just over a minute and a half left. And if they can hold on to this lead, they'll take on Tuscaloosa County. We'll have it right here on Saturday.
I was where I was going. I forgot to finish that point. I kind of got sidetracked. But you remember Sunday school? I don't know if you went to Sunday school. I'm sure you did. A lot of people out there will remember. I like to relate things sometimes. How big a deal it was when you were a little kid. You get one of them stars for like the lesson that you've done, and a great coloring exhibition.
Sure.
I just thought that was you mentioned go Stars. So.
We're still on the star system at my house.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
You don't want to demerit it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I completely agree. You're on the star system.
Extra effort.
You married a star.
You do things that you're not asked to do. You get a star.
Okay. That's okay. Probably why I'm saying it. Noted.
That's another broadcast.
or podcast.
48-35. Hoover with the lead here late in the fourth.
We got some state championship games coming up. Be back over at the booth to preview this game with the great Scarborough.
1A girls, 1A boys. You got a quick breakdown of Cliff's Notes?
I do. I think Marion County takes care of the basketball much better than they have in their state championships. At Phillips or Scottsdale state championships at Phillips and Marion County. But Winterborough's length is a problem. Williams, coach's daughter, if she can get downhill and have a big game, needs to have a double-double. But there's more pieces on that Winterboro team. I like Marion County today, though. I just think the experience in these state championship games, I'm always going to lean that way. That's not a knock on any team. Both those teams, Northeast and Northwest, will be battling. And then after that, you'll have Hub and Brantley, and that's going to be a good one as well.
Meanwhile, Trey Garner for Fairhope adds a couple of Cisco free throws, adding to his point total. Garner with now 13. But Hoover still with a double-digit lead.
Yeah, they've played well. They've played solid enough, to play to the pedigree, as we stated. Use their length. Also, Hoover being able to hang in and win the game when you only have 20 minutes played from Jackson Sheffield. Yeah, he went 16-8. Only 3 players in double figures in this game, Landry. I mean, a lot of that obviously has to do with that man's defensive tenacity that he's instilled in his kids.
That's why when you look, Fairhope with 9 blocks as a team. Trey Garner's got 6 of them. 10 steals. Both teams with 16 turnovers. Yet it's the points, the easier points, and that's where Hoover has separated themselves off of turnovers and outlet passes.
The balance of Hoover, Kent with 9. I don't like the 6 turnovers for Kent. A lot of those were early. He'll probably clean that up. But Burns and Glass, defensively, in transition, understanding how to get the ball where it needs to go into Jackson Sheffield, and making plays in this second half. Numbers 4 and 5. Stars today. Gold stars for them.
Trey Gardner comes up short in the corner on 3. Now Glass back out, and Garner reaches around right in front of the official. Foul called, 49.1.
Foul on Fairhope's number 4, Trey Gardner.
It'll be foul shots from Cy Millen.
What an excellent officiating. Mr. Baker. Mr. Satterfield. And, of course, Mr. Barnett. Don't park in his yard, especially on Mule Day.
Does he take exception to that?
No. I don't know, and I know they're listening or maybe here, but his daughter lives by the school. And you have the carpool line at school. Please don't park in front of
Speaking of Ken Barnett,
Whitman's driveway.
Who you know Ken Barnett from growing up, same town, whole family. He's the official on the baseline that you see.
Doing it a long time.
Top right corner, yes. And he's very, very good at what he does.
An excellent teacher of something you mentioned earlier, softball.
There's Ken.
Daughter was an excellent player. Granddaughter's going to be an excellent player. And Ken has been around a long time this game. He sort of seen him come on the scene a little bit when I was coming out of high school. He's always been so steady. And seen his face. He's called multiple 7A state championship games. Or 6A, and I think maybe all the classes. I asked him that one time, and he didn't really know, but I know it's multiple. And great to see you.
Well,
still getting up and down the floor, kid. You're doing
he's
great.
One of those constant faces on the big stage every single year. There's a reason why he's assigned to these games, all of these officials. We got great officials in this state. This is the best of the best.
And Seth Satterfield today, both of his called games. Really nice job by him also. And I think Mr. Baker's done a good job too.
Messiah Millen closing seconds of Fairhope's 2025-2026 season. And you know what, Trey Garner, at least you'll be able to take that back to Fairhope along with a great career and a lot of memories. Well, Fairhope, valiant effort. And what they got from their head coach, Ralph Watson.
You are moving on to the 2026 7A.
It comes to an end here in Birmingham, falling